Welcome back. This is Ryan Thompson with PyroCMS. In our last video, we set up this about page and used custom blocks. We used blocks that come out of the box, and we overrode those stylistically using. We added a container basically to it, and we also downloaded and installed the accordion block and overrode that as well. So we're going to continue on with our templates and continue on making blocks and flesh this out for our content team. So let's take a look at what we've got next. Contact page. Let's look at the template. So we've got that normal banner up here, a simple content section here. Then we've got a form and a map, some directions. What would you call this? A ribbon? Let's make this ribbon real quick. I'm going to create a new block. What would we call this? I suppose that's as good as any. It's a component. Just gonna copy the content here. It's a relatively simple one. This will end up being a fallback again. We'll use background image. Just like that. And the text. I think that's how we did it. We'll know soon enough. Let's assign those fields that we're going to need. This is not required because it's got a fallback. Title text. Oh, you know what? This one is required. And we'll make that one first. Title text. Cool. Let's create a new page for contact. We do have this. And above this, we'll add a banner. Just leave that generic for now. We know it works. We don't need to populate it for anything. Content team can handle that. Oops. Let's add our ribbon. Okay, that works. Let's see, this particular build has some wonky content layouts. So it's not super clear on where to draw the lines as far as a block goes. Let's make one for the form here. We're going to need the forms module, so let's download that real quick. Something's up with the add-ons module. This is a beta that I'm working with, so I'm going to just find the forms module and manually bring it in. Manually download it here. This will bring in the standard form extension as well. As a dependent. So it looks like let's make a form block, and they can choose the form, and we'll make this like an optional piece. So if they enable it, it'll show this private information HIPAA disclaimer. Maybe we'll default it on and toggle it off, or default it off and toggle it on. But then this will be similar to other form blocks I've done in the past, where we'll basically just select the form as a relation, and usually the submit text. Okay, so those two came in. Let's install them. Let's create a new form. Create a new notification. Just set up some bogus stuff for now. Let's see. Yeah, that should do it. Okay. Content is fine how it is. Name, email, phone, subject, and message. And a message. We'll assign our fields. Name is required. Let's see, what was it? Phone. Also required. Email required. All of these are going to be required. Spoiler alert. Okay, so we've got that. Let's go make a new block. Oops. Let's make a form, the field first for the form. It's going to be a relationship. Damn it. And forms, input mode, we'll use a simple drop down, it's fine. Title column should be enough. Now we'll create the form block. Component. I know we're going to need to submit text to. Oops. Form is required. And this won't be required, we'll default it. Alright, let's take it for a spin. Where does this go? Under the content. Chances are let's see. Chances are it's that form field that's jacking things up. Let's use a lookup. Let's just make sure it's working real quick. There we go. I'm going to reload to clear out that faulty block. Choose the form. Okay. We'll select the contact one here. Okay, let's define the content of this block. Contact block. So that should handle that. The CAPTCHA, we use an invisible CAPTCHA as a field type, so we don't need that. Okay. We'll leave this on for now. We'll create an option for that in a moment. So these are taking the labels and putting them into the placeholders. So let's do Let's do see what this looks like. Okay, so that's the correct tag to use based on the forms module. If we go back here and look up this help text, this is how we would embed it. So we're basically doing that programmatically within the content of our block. So that's the accurate binding for it. Then we can do open and close. Now I wonder if this drop down is necessary. Nope. So we're going to skip that. And we're going to output only the inputs, and we're going to set the placeholder to the placeholder if it's set or the label if it's not. So we're going to loop over these fields. And we're going to render them. Let's just start with that field input. If we wanted the whole field, including the group and the label and all that stuff, we would use render, but I just want the input. This can all go away. That's our button, so we don't need to use any form actions. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so we've got our form. Cool. Now we need to set the placeholders. So to do that, we're going to use some inline control. And we're going to do I think that should do it. Word. These are all required. I've got a missing image here. Okay. Let's add a toggle around this. If block dot HIPAA disclosure. This will be a Boolean, so we'll use the is true from the presenter. Let's see. Save that. Open up fields. Add a Boolean. We'll default that to on. And assign it to our form. Let's see. Let's disable it. Okay, and we need to adjust the size a little bit too. Let's see if this will work. This is backwards though. So if it's not enabled, we want to take up that extra space. There we go. And if it is enabled, it should come back just fine. Ooh, what's this? Some sort of offset. That was for the CAPTCHA, which we're going to use an invisible flavor. So we got that. Good to go. Form block done. Relatively versatile too. They can choose other forms and disable the HIPAA if they want to do some other use case. Let's see. I think the map and the location and the directions are all going to, I think this is all going to be one kind of gnarly block. So this is where we could have used a page type, and this would be part of the page type layout, and like load a partial from our theme and then make page fields for maybe this text, maybe this as well, or we could use blocks and page fields. We could combine the two. The content team last time really liked the idea of keeping everything completely contained within blocks, so I'm going to make just one big block for basically from here down to here, and I'm going to call it call it office location, I guess, or location. That's a big one. Content block, so we've got our map, our content information. I'm sure this, yep, the map is scripted at the bottom, so I'll have to add that to our scripts, or actually I'll probably add the script for the maps to the block itself, so it's contained and transported along with the block, so when the block is in use, the scripts will load. So let's start off with just some copying, get it roughed in. I'm going to create a new block. Location. Hello component. So we've got our map. Cool. So we'll just take this, smash it in there, indent it a little bit. Let's see. Let's replace these images. Let's just see what this looks like. This is going to go above the ribbon. Let her rip. Okay. This location, there's two locations I see. What's this? Nope, there's one location. Oh, that's the group, that's right. So we did a website for Revive of the group, and this is like a subset, so I see what they're doing here. We've got the normal location, the group here, or the revive, and then their website. Which is here. So I'm going to put this stuff in, I think, in variables. I'm just going to put this back with the address and stuff. Since anywhere they put the location information, the directions are going to be the same. This block is kind of single purpose. It is what it is. We'll knock it out and move along. Let's see. We need a variable field for a URL. Map this location. And we have the address already. We have the phone. Let's leave that as is. Maps there. Okay. Okay, we're going to copy this URL. Directions. And the map link. Okay. Copy that map link. Copy the directions. So now this is handled from variables. Let's open blocks back up. Make sure we're pulling from there. Oops. These places share the same location. They share the same phone basically too, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. Oh, no way. There it is. These get pulled as well. This will need the presenter. Normalize it just in case. That pulled in. That works. Need to remove the name from the address. There we go. Then the website, I'm going to hard code that since we know it. Variables is done. View website. All right, we'll call that one done. So we've got the contact page, built a simple form block, and this monster block, this is hard coded in there. And then we made this ribbon block with a background image. I think we'll let the content team have at it from there. So I'll catch you guys on the next video where we'll continue on with the pages and creating custom blocks.